Hey guys, Welsknight here, bringing you another brand new episode of Horizons Daybreaker, and look what we found! Finally got our hands on some diamonds. I have been waiting to find these for quite a while now. Did a lot of mining, a lot of digging, a lot of searching, and finally I came across some. It took forever. So, now we can hopefully get ourselves some decent tools, get some things up and running, and all that kind of good stuff. And it seems really choppy for some reason. That's strange. Also, I figured out what these ores are for. Cassiterite, basically all the ores from ET Resources. Probably grab a little bit of this silicon whenever we can find it, because we're going to need a lot of it to get to space. Anyway. So, figured out what those resources are for. Basically, they are just like a lot of other resources, aluminum, lead, ferrous, stuff like that. They do the same thing. You smelt, they will actually smelt into ingots that you will recognize. They just have a different name and a different texture. So, not too bad. Let's head to the surface. I think mostly I just wanted to come down here to get that diamond. So, I'm going to go ahead and head to the surface, guys, and I will meet you there in just a second. Alright, guys, I am back, and ooh, I hear things dying. Anyway, these ores, they turn into aluminum, tin, and lead. Those were these ores right here that I was referring to a minute ago. No, I didn't want to put that there. Go away. But what I want to do in today's episode is I want to get some new tools going. So, what we're going to do is we're going to make tools using Clockwork something or other. I forget what it's called. I am going to need a diamond pickaxe. But we're going to make a crucible, and we're going to make some other stuff as well. So let's go ahead and get a couple of buckets. There we go. We're going to need those for lava. And I suppose I can just put some of this stuff away. I'm quickly running out of inventory space, I see, which is less than desirable, but I guess it's not the end of the world either. Also, I've noticed that the mobs in this game are so much nastier. Man, they are just brutal. Let's go ahead and smelt up some of this clay into bricks. We're going to need that. Because if we take a look at the Clockwork recipes, we are going to need a gear of some sort, preferably a brass gear. And brass you need to make using Flaxbeard's steam power. You can make it using a crucible. Right here. Just like, it's kind of like a Tinker's smelter from, it's kind of like a smeltery from Tinker's Construct, except it's for like one ingot at a time. At least that's my understanding of it. I haven't actually played around with it yet. But we're going to make a couple of those. Let's just check. And it's just bricks in a shape like that. Okay, that should be pretty doable. I believe they need to have lava underneath, though. So, take a look at this spider. Okay, this guy we can maybe kill. Either spiders are way harder. No, it's just the, yeah. And these things, these flaming mobs, ooh, they're nasty. I must have died about 50 times between episodes because one of them got inside of my house and I kept respawning and then instantly dying. And it's got like 60 health. It's just bad news. Bad news. But, let's see. Where is our house? Over there? I gotta find our mines so I can go and get some lava and stuff. Yeah, should be straight this way. Alright guys, I'm going to go get some materials together, and I will be back in just a little bit. Alright guys, I am back, and I've got some resources. I decided while I was down there to go ahead and just grab 14 obsidian so that I can make a Nether Portal. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to set that up... not in this house. And actually, speaking of Flaxbeard steam power, there's some Flaxbeard's machines right there, which is pretty handy. But I think what I'm looking for might be something... Maybe a house more like this. Except this is way too small. Wait, was that? No, that's also for a Cascade. That's going to be an interesting mod too as well. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and set up the Nether Portal out here. And I'll set it up out here a ways, just kind of on the outskirts of town. Hopefully get it far enough away that I won't have to deal with that incredibly annoying Nether Portal sound. I hear, oh, hello zombie. Look at this, 133 HP on this zombie. That's insane. That is absolutely ridiculous. For a normal zombie, it's like 30 hits to kill it. That's ridiculous. Anyway, we're going to go into the Nether. And the reason that we're going to go into the Nether is because it is very, very handy to have the other upgraded Crucible from Flaxbeard Steam Power. And all that requires is some netherrack. So we'll grab a little bit of quartz while we're here. I don't know if this mod pack adds anything new to the nether as far as, you know, extremely nasty things that kill you. The ore doesn't seem to be exploding, so that's good. Honestly, I don't know if there's anything in the nether that we really need, other than just netherrack for the moment, because I need to make it into nether bricks. But that's not a big deal. I'm not seeing a whole bunch of various nether ores or anything like that. Yeah, alright, let's just get ourselves some netherrack and get out of here. And I'll meet you back at the base in just a moment. Alright guys, I am back, and I think I've got everything I need. So, first and foremost, let's go ahead and make a couple of these nether crucibles, just like that. I think we also need a carving table. And for that, we need a blank mold. So let's do one of those. And we'll do that. And then let's see if that works. So let's just do it like right here, I think. And I'm not sure if this is the way to do this or not, but we're gonna find out. Okay. Not like that, that's for sure. So maybe what we actually need is the other mold, which was this one right here. There we go. So maybe let's try that out. Let's see if that one works. Yeah, that looks right. Except it still doesn't tip the way that I want it to tip. Okay, there we go. And now it tips. Okay. Got it. Alright, so this seems to be working so far. Man, this area is ugly. I need to pretty this up pretty soon. That's alright, though. Let's put this carving table like right here, and let's go make a couple of blank molds. Let's see. Just make like 3 of them. And then if we right click on carving table, you can see the mold change to different things. So we've got a nugget, we've got an ingot, and we've got a plate. And what I want is the ingot one. So let's open that up, put the ingot mold there. And now I think if I put, do we have any actual alloy stuff? Not really. We've got tin. I suppose we could make copper. Let's try that. Let's just go like that. And then like that. I know I'm wasting resources even though we have mini coal and stuff, but I want to test this out. And let's see, we can do copper ingots, zinc ingots, brass ingots, and gilded iron. I wish it told you what the combinations were. It just says instead, this is how you make it. But very limited information in NEI. I'm going to assume that copper... No? No? Is that not... It's not a thing? Okay, what if I put... Can I put the ore in there directly? Like that. No. Okay. This is a little bit more complicated than I thought it was going to be. Tell you what, guys, let me go ahead and try and get this all figured out, and I will be back in just a moment. All right, guys, I am back, and I think I've got it figured out. So, there's actually a book for Flaxbeards, which should tell us what we need to know, and it is zinc and copper should make that. So now we can open that up and take a look. Ores. Okay, that didn't help as much as I thought. Let's see. Here we go. Nether Crucible. So, yep, I already know what that does. Brass, there we go. So, zinc and 3 copper equals, will give us 4 brass. Okay, so if we take copper, and I don't think I have a whole lot of copper ore right now. So why don't we do this? Let's start processing some copper in. But what you can actually do is take this dust. You can see I've already got some brass. You can take that dust and you can bring it over here. Oop. Close this. And then when you throw that in, you see it changes color. And now I can pour that into this mold. And when I right click the mold and open it up, it will give me a brass ingot. So now I can close it and do the same thing. And, oh, that one didn't work for some reason. We get it? No, that just gave us copper. I think this thing might be pretty much empty. There we go. Brass. So you can throw those in and make ingots that way, which is really useful because we're going to need those brass ingots for all sorts of important stuff. So, now that we have that done, now we can get into some of this other stuff, such as Clockwork assembly table, which needs a gear of some sort. Iron gear's probably going to be our best bet, just because we've got a fair amount of iron. And that is, let's just double check. Iron like that, and sticks like that. There we go. And then surrounded by wooden planks. Okay. So we'll make one of those. And I'm just going to put it, I don't even know. I'm just going to put it right here for now. That's going to be really important so that we can make things like this. So we're going to need brass, which I have. We're going to need a framework, which is going to require even more brass. So I should probably get to making a bit more brass. Let's come over here and do that. So let's see. It was 1 zinc and 3 copper. And then that should make me 4 brass ingots. Think. Yes. Okay. And we can probably do a little bit more right here. There we go. Sometimes it flies the wrong direction. But that's okay. And we can just produce them here. It's a slow process. I don't know if it can be automated, but it is better than nothing. Does allow me to get that early game brass, which is, of course, useful because we need it for a whole bunch of different stuff that we're about to tackle. And that should be all of it. There we go. 12 brass ingots. Sweet. Now, as I was saying, the next thing we're going to need is going to be framework. So let's make one of those. And then we're going to need a winding box. And I think we're going to need even more brass. Or will we have... Actually, no. We've got just enough. Ooh. Okay. Although we are going to need some gears. What are our options for gears? Diamond, no. Emerald, no. Maybe our... silver. Silver's not too bad. I think bronze is probably going to be our best bet, though. So I'm going to make a whole bunch of bronze, guys, and I will be back in just a moment. Alright, guys, I am back, and I think I have enough brass, at least for now. So what we are going to do is we're going to make a bunch of these brass gears, just like that. And then we're going to see if we have enough of them to make... Oh, just enough to make this gear right here, this Clockwork. And you can see it has quality of 180 and speed of 495, which is what we want. So that's good. Now we also need a spring, which, there it is, which is basically just iron ingots surrounding a stick. So that's fairly easy. Oh, there we go. So we'll make one of those. And that part is going to be a little bit trickier. We got to put the string in like that. And then we can surround it with stuff. And you can see it adds tension, which is good and bad. Generally, certain materials will be better than others. Let's try, for example, titanium. Let's see if that gives us more tension. Or if it can even be used. I don't know if it can. Doesn't look like it can. Okay. But anyway, you can upgrade this spring as many times as you want. You can also, if you get more brass, figures, gonna have to make more brass, you can get the disassembler, and we'll also have to do the Clockwork pickaxe to make that as well. So let me make some more brass, guys, and I will be back in just a moment. Alright, guys, I am back, and I think we're good. So I'm going to go ahead and make this Clockwork pickaxe right there. Then I'm also going to make a disassembler, which is brass, just like you see there. So we now have 3 blocks. We have the assembly table, we've got the winding box, and we have the disassembler, which of course I placed in the wrong spot. So the Clockwork assembly thingy, this table is where we put everything together. The pickaxe and the gear, for example. So that will give us this. Now, it doesn't have any tension at the moment, so I should probably give, basically to add that in, I need to put the gear thing in it. However, I can't really, well, I suppose I could do it now, but it wouldn't work out very well because the gear doesn't have a whole lot of tension. Tension is basically durability. So what I'm doing is I'm smelting up some more iron ingots so that I can add more tension to this spring, which is right there. There we go. And now it's up to 50,000, 66,000. It's getting better. It's making progress. It's far from complete, but it's getting there. It's getting to the point where I will actually be able to use it for a little while. I think we'll put one more little batch of tension on there, and then I'll call it good for now. And I'll show you why it's not all that big of a deal. So, this thing's up to 82,000 tension, right? So now we can put our pickaxe and our tension spring in there just like that. And then you can see that it has no tension, no durability, if you will. If I right-click this winding box a bunch of times, it will fill up as quickly. It'll fill up fairly quickly. And as far as mining speed goes, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. I mean, the durability goes pretty quick. But once I get that tension spring upgraded enough, it won't, I mean, it'll last for quite a while. The other nice thing is, if I right-click the disassembler, it'll spit all of it back out, and I can add more durability to the spring. So that makes this a really useful tool to have, especially since when I'm mining, I can just take this thing with me. And then I'm really set, because I don't have to worry about durability while I'm mining at all. I can refill it just right there on the go. So that's really, really useful. I mean, this is a great early game tool, and it can be upgraded pretty significantly as you move farther and farther in. So we've got our iron going, we've got some brass, we got a source of brass going, and we have the ability now to get halfway decent tools at least. But guys, we are pretty much out of time for this episode, so if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave me a comment. I do appreciate it, and it really helps out my channel. You can also find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. There are links in the video description below, so check that out as well. Otherwise, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll definitely see you next time.